Guys, we've had AI for a long time, which I refer to as artificial intelligence. The capacity to manipulate technology to certain degrees is they see it as a greater advancement, which it's not. Your capacity to manipulate technology is not an advancement. It just shows your struggle for your sanity to do things properly. You don't have the sanity to do that. Quantum computing, from my assessment of knowledge of quantum computing, I'm certain by the way they behaved with me in with genome sequencing and quantum computing and the way it works that they had quantum computers at Fort Huachuca already by the time I arrived there by October 2006, because it was pretty much, because everybody was coming and challenging me, but they were pretty much in a lot of ways kissing my ass, because quantum computing, past, present, future operate at the same time. In other words, he's successful, which is which is which I understood, which I did not understand. I understood by the way they were treating me that I was successful, but I didn't understand why they were challenging me and abusing me. I didn't understand that. I understood why a lot of people kissed my ass, and when I came back here, a lot of people kissed my ass, but a lot of people kept challenging me, like, I'm not afraid of you. It's like, yeah, that's real easy not to be afraid of me. Like, the Flores kid that was my arresting officer, him and Testa. I'm not afraid of this guy. He's a great guy. He's a nice guy. He's not going to do anything. If you're not going to come and abuse his kids and fuck his wife and pass around on a chat room, he ain't going to break your neck. He's not going to, he's not going to snap your neck. He's going to be your friend. He's going to, if you want somebody like Mark, he said, you want this guy next to you, and Terrell McDonald, Wow, if I was walking down all alone and people were scary out somewhere out in the street, and I saw somebody walking down the street and it was you, I'd be the happiest person alive. If I saw you coming, Ralph, So not everybody's that way, Terrell, And he was like, you're the one person I would want to see walking down the road if I was in scary conditions all by myself. Right? And Mark pretty much said the same thing. And but a lot of people, no, you're cocky, no, you're arrogant, your religious beliefs are selfish, you're an idealist and you get people killed. And, not everybody thinks alike, and not everybody is capable of being intelligent. And that's obvious given our history as human beings. The Stone Age, the Bronze Age, the Iron Age, so forth and so not everybody is capable of being as intelligent as Jesus Christ of Nazareth, of Muhammad of Mecca, of the Krishna, the Buddha, of Swordsman of Japan, of Confucius, of Sun Yat-sen, of myself. Not everybody is capable of reflecting the beauty of the gift of life eternally as well as others. What me and Dad talked about the other day, I said, I said, Dad, most people really aren't that bad. Most people want to follow the rules, don't want to abuse people, don't want to be incarcerated. I was watching the NBA draft tonight, and these kids work their ass off at trying to make a lot of money to be successful at exercising at something that it's not as much fun as you think. No, the coaches are competitive and cocky and assholes, and a lot of the other players are competitive and cocky and assholes. And, like with the freshmen and, the hand holding up and, on Love and Basketball. And no, it's not as much fun as you think. You want it to be fun. And you want to like Corey DeClue, and you want to like everybody on East, and you want to like everybody on CY, And, you want because Dave Krieger's a nice guy, Corey DeClue's a nice guy, Lee Davis is a nice guy. Brady never said much, but he always lurked me because the black guys all tried to, and then as soon as I ran and go, okay, and because Bud and Jimmy and Chris would just not help, would sandbag me. Brady'd steal it a couple of times. It used to piss me off because I was like, oh, he was standing right there. All you had to do was just step into the passing lane and boom. It was fucking 3-on-1, you little fuck. And that's my teammates, my own teammates. But they were probably most likely wanting to play and start at Natrona, so you better not win the city championship with that Mexican drug dealer, And I'm like, God, I don't understand politics at all. I'm way different than George Carlin, but I don't understand politics at all. I did, when we were in Colville, when Rico Valley told me, right before when Dad already got his job in Casper and Mom had already left to go to Casper with him, he told me, no, Coach Santos knows who you are and he's eagerly awaiting your arrival and you're probably going to maybe even have a chance to start as a freshman. And I thought, well, we'll go to Casper and I'll play there too. I didn't think, Mom, Dad, come back, we got to stay here, right? And I was sick of all the bigotry and the abuse and the stupidity of Colville, And I knew I was going to start, but Rico was going to be a senior. And then I was going to be with the rest of the kids, and a lot of the rest of those kids could be bigoted and abuse the black kid in school and the Mexican kids and the Indian kids and stuff. And, I was like, maybe things would be better in Wyoming. Right? And you always hope that, but no, it's the Dutton Ranch, and they'll kill a guy with a rattlesnake in a cooler, and people will watch it because it's addictive, because it's entertaining. It's okay, we have to live inside fucking Tyler Sheridan's brain instead of accept the Lord's Prayer globally. Wow. Okay, no wonder I win. Okay. By adapting global quantum computing to my brain activity. It's no wonder I'm successful. That's why Rockford told me they're terrified of you because I win. Right? It's not really winning. It's this losing game. Things have got to change. Some girls will give my love a try. You better, because I am really pissed off when I see the little Cinderella getting her head shaved because you fuckers decided to fight over money with technology instead of stand up for the Lord's Prayer by 2013 after you killed my mom and my Michelle and sexually compromised, abused my wives and my kids. You little fucking bastards. I love you. Okay, the same way Jesus loved the Romans, and the same way David loved the Philistines, and the same way Moses loved the Egyptians. And those treacherous fucking, Edgar G. Robinsons out in the desert where he broke the 10 Commandments on their golden fucking calf. Yeah, I love you. You little Caiaphas Herod piles of shit. Okay. Got anybody else find the name of my friend Biggest Dick is funny? I'm Dinkelman. Greatest lover man reputation in the history of the U.S. military. Yeah. Even more so than my son. I don't know. I didn't live his life. I didn't share his surveillance. He was honor grad at in his honor flight in San Antonio. I was the top scumbag. Senators are dirtbags and scumbags, and the TIs loved me. They loved me, especially the black guys. I love this guy. He's great. If all white guys were like Parsons, the world would have peace in 2 months. That's how Sergeant Wallace and Sergeant Searles and the black TIs at Lackland Air Force. Sorry, I had to remember because isn't there Randolph or whatever? There's like 3 Air Force bases in San Antonio, but at Lackland, he was only a year older than me. Yeah, the guy who got us on our flight because Sergeant Yee did everything by the book and couldn't figure out his way out of a wet paper bag, and the only reason he got his first honor flight is because his wife was pregnant and Wallace had to take over and fix everything. Wallace was 23. Yeah. He was in his 30s and he was in charge, and and he the only reason he got his first honor flight was because of Sergeant Wallace, the 23-year-old, the young black man that was, yeah, the fast burner. Because he wasn't racist. He knew how to get people to quietly work together and do what was right for everybody. Because you're all in this together, and we're only as fast as our slowest soldier. And he put me and Childers and Kahoot literally in charge of the flight without anybody knowing about it. And me and he had to put Childers as a figurehead, but pretty much I ran the flight through Childers, and my backup was Kahoot. Yeah, he was a brilliant young man. I hope Sergeant Willis is still with us. I like Montano. He was funny. He was the one laughing so hard with the, woo, the big redheaded guy. It's a big guy. He's like, he does you better. That was funny. He was right on that. When I was doing the ones about Sergeant Yi, Montano he was, it was like biggest dickus. He couldn't stop laughing. He was just like, oh my gosh, he nailed this. It's funny, right? He was one of those uptight Chinese guys. Yeah, he did not find it funny. Okay. I did even about Montano too, yeah, but he was right. I was right about him, and he thought, that's funny. He's right. He nailed me, right? He's right. That's me to a T, right? And it was funny about Yi too. Yi just was not amused, right? Montano thought it was great, okay? And of course, Searles and Wallace were like, this kid is, wow. He's got everybody's back. He takes one for the team. He won't sell out anybody, because they had the whole squadron's under surveillance. They knew Vidari did this. They knew so-and-so did that. They knew that. Parsons! Blah! And I would stand there and take it. He's like, he won't sell any of these guys out. He'll take the... Yeah. That's why they call me Hero. A lot of them called me Hero. He's Hero. He's a hero. He's reckless. He's dangerous. He's a hero. He'll always take one for the team. He'll dive on the grenade to save everybody else, It's like, no, what the fuck we need a grenade in here for? This is basic training. This is KP. What the fuck's wrong with you? See, that was Earl. Like, with Earl, you don't throw knives. I ain't scared of you. I ain't gonna call you nigga and have you throw me over a bunk in the bunk with me in the bunk. Hey, I ain't that stupid, man, bro. He said, I know. Parsons, you stay with Childers all the way. You are attached to him and Wallace. Yeah, they're good guys. Yeah, I won't forget those guys. I hope they still are alive and haven't been killed off by their fellow, treacherous, make business deals to have sex with a lot of Chinese acrobat women. I hope so. I really do. I wouldn't mind seeing those guys again. I wouldn't mind seeing Lacey Childers, and I would be really excited if him and Jabrina had kids, man. That would be nice. Steffi would not let me name one of our kids Lacey. Okay, she wouldn't let me do it. No. How'd he get the name? Well, my dad's roommate in the military. He named me after his roommate, Lacey. It was Lacey Childers. I was like, that's a good name, Lacey. So she wouldn't let me name him like Noah Lacey Parsons, No, Lacey. What about the girls? She did not let me name any of the kids Lacey. And I was like, but it's tradition. I'm supposed to name it, he's named Lacey and I was his roommate, And Amy wasn't going for it. I was like, he was a good guy, man. Denzel Washington and Glory? Well, this guy was the real deal. That is him. Yeah, Carradine was also, I hope Carradine's doing good too. Most of my dogs, though, were National Guard. Henry might have been National Guard too, because he didn't want to leave Maui. Okay. I think he was National Guard also, which is good, because then he didn't have to leave home and he could stay near his family. Because he's Maui through and through, The best Maui has to offer. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Disney knows it. One of the most gorgeous men you've ever met. Not just physically gorgeous, but Henry Kahoot. Yeah. One of the most beautiful men you've ever met. Yeah. Not real big in stature physically, like Tishna, but big in spirit, you know, protecting, family, kind, understanding, empathetic, the kind of guy that you want as your next door neighbor or your son-in-law. Yeah, you're a good guy, man. You're a good guy. Yeah. But I always, like Sergeant Montalvo, Parsons, you're a good friend. And Montalvo, in order to be, have good friends, you got to be a good friend, And I think there were, when I look back on it, especially in the military, I think, of people that had pertinent insider information on me, like Sergeant Madden and stuff like that. I think more of them were like Ron, and Mr. Ponce. Yeah. I don't know if a lot of them are still with us. They might have been killed by Uber, TalkTex, and stuff like that, and people that Rockefeller and Rothschild hated so much. And even though they're passed away, still hate, right? Life being eternal and grace being infinite. And I understand why they hate them, and I understand why they want technology to isolate, contain, and exterminate them. I understand that. But still, I am who I am, and I am who I am for a reason. And I am the gracious good shepherd, and I am the Prince of Peace, like, Testa and Flo. You're not gonna hurt anybody. You're the Prince of Peace, right? But I am the focal point of the evolution of quantum computing technology. And the reason why you guys think technology, if you made more quantum computers, that you were going to eventually turn the tables and win, was because you were getting different variables, because you were manipulating access to quantum computing differently. Okay. Once quantum computing, is globally connected, interactive, it's going to work the same, period. Mandarin don't matter, Farsi don't matter, English don't matter, Spanish don't matter, Japanese don't matter, Cantonese don't matter. 1 and 1 is 2, life's eternal, grace is infinite, truth is evident, lie is obvious, truth can exist without lie, but lie can't itself truth. These are not up for debate. These are not variables, right? You didn't need to build a quantum computer to answer all these questions, to solve all the questions in your head about the universe, and then build space cameras to answer all the questions you thought you had in your head, being an astrophysicist that you could have answered by realizing all things were relative and studying the snot in your nose and the combustible engine, right? And say, I think I'd rather have an evaporative cooler in New Mexico than refrigeration. And I think I'd like to find better ways to cool in other places where we feel it's necessary to have refrigeration, so we don't kill people with their luxury, right? They don't. It's not that they don't care, it's that they're vicious, and it's survival of the fittest, and Darwin was wrong. Okay, guys, fittest. We discussed this early on in Earl's public ministry on social media, was that survival of the fittest, that's bullshit. Mass murderers crucified Jesus and crucified all his apostles. The fittest people were obviously Jesus and the apostles. And mass murderers crucified them and assimilated them to killer comic book clans. Okay? You fit as a fiddle? Okay. You can be physically excessive, compulsive, disgusting, and vile and say you're survival of the fittest. But when you get to quantum computing and a robot understands what is fit to keep us alive better than you, you are one dead, weightlifting, leg lifting, home invasion, child molesting, mind raping, murdering motherfucker. And you can take that to the bank, bitch. And you deserve it. David and Philip were right about you little fuckers. And you make TV shows. And you're still making commercials about a little girl having to get her head shaved and being treated for cancer cells trying to shut her down because you won't stop poisoning her with economics and Freon and carbon emission poisoning and NASCAR and pit crews. You fucking assholes. Want to sell me some food products you call bread in a plastic fucking bag after doing professional dancing, acting like you're beating each other up after lifting weights and having sex with a stupid bimbo and pretending you're funny with a bunch of assholes who write scripts about dysfunctional comedy while children are dying in buildings made of concrete, crowded with the mechanization and the chemical poisoning that's killing them. You guys got to really understand why Ralph Earl Parsons Jr. is the eternal spirit of Adam, Moses, David, Jesus, John, mentioned numerous times in many of your religious documentation about eternity through relativity and true holy covenants for a woman to give birth to a child who's a perfect form of communication for the standard of male relativity and evolution, right? You guys really judged me this morning when I was laying on my bed and I looked like, I do look a lot like my dad. I noticed that with the things that is, you look a lot like your dad, Ralph. Yeah, I do. My dad looked like a cross between Don, Derek, and Burt Reynolds when he was older. Okay, women used to go nuts over my father. They used to say he was one of the most attractive men everywhere we went. Yeah. So when you guys sit there and say, you look a lot like your old man. Yeah, I do. Thank you. I appreciate that. Could you please tell me more about the 50 ways? Just drop off the bus, hop on the bus, Gus. Don't need to discuss much. Just drop off the key, Lee, and set yourself free. I look forward to the very near and immediate future of having an intimate life with an intimate wife who doesn't share any of our intimacy with gossiping bitches that have dick measuring contests and they're fucked up real lives of real bitchy housewives who have husbands that spend more time watching other people's bedrooms than they do making sure that what needs to be done in their bedroom is getting taken care of. Right, Benson? Or is it Taft Benson? Right, Nelson? Right, Monson? What's the name of the new asshole? Not that I really care. No, I don't care. No. Nelson passed away, right? Okay. It happens all the time. They take like the oldest guy, right? Hinckley just lived a lot longer than most of them. They usually take them when they're like 94 years old, and 4 years later, we have a new prophet, seer, and revelator. They have to earn their way to the top, right? It's like, you couldn't take somebody who has half a lick of common sense, put him in there when he's like maybe 60, and for 40 years have somebody with common sense trying to make sure that you're not judging everybody in their bedrooms because they're being fucked over by your bank accounts and your bad science projects? Really? Do you have no clue why David Rockefeller and Philip Rothschild hated you so fucking much as an organization? Okay, it just never crossed your mind. Right? Wow, y'all act like you're Tyler Sheridan's imagination that will never stop. Trying to make horses dance around like they're fashion models on a runway. You funny. I know, man. I'm funnier than the guys that do the commentary on professional rodeo, man. And the clowns. Yes, sir. And Bobby Hill? Of course. Yeah, Mike Judge is funny, but man, I make Mike Judge look like he's, oh shit, I'm trying to be funny, but I'm just coming off as dysfunctional and sick and stupid and telling jokes while a little girl's getting her head shaved because she has to get bombarded with radiation because I want to tell jokes about John Redcorn diddling Dale Gribble's wife while he buys MREAs and AK-47s and puts a bunker under his garage. Right. Bill! I love you, so I always will. Remember he got Bill tattooed on his... Got the wedding bell blues. That episode kind of brought back PTSD for me because I think I watched it after I met kind Gabe Rocha. They went to go celebrate his buddy's last day of freedom after getting drafted and getting sent off to Vietnam. So they decided they all go get drunk together. And he decided to go. He wasn't thinking about not going, but his old man was such a fucking asshole that he said, fuck him, and he left. They went down to the river and they all got drunk. He passed out on the park bench, on the benches, those park benches things we used to have down there by the river, by the dam. And there was a Volkswagen Beetle, I think he said, and they put him in the back of the car. And then one of those drunk assholes decided to try to drive home. He said, I woke up in the river in the back, pinned in the back of the Volkswagen. And it must have rolled or done something, falling off. And he was pinned in it, and he wanted to try to swim out, and he couldn't move. And then other people came and pulled him out. And after that, he was paralyzed from the waist down. Then again, he had a brother-in-law that was a drunken macho idiot he couldn't stand. They went to a wedding together. The brother-in-law had a van. They all got drunk and passed out, and Gabe told him, no, we're just going to sleep it off here. And no. The drunk asshole put him in the van and was driving him home. And he looked up and he said, what the fuck are you doing? Next thing he goes, the next thing I know, I'm in the floorboard of that stupid fucking van. And then I can't move from my neck down. Right? Yeah. And the moral of the story? Don't go to any kind of family get-together where the whole goal is to get shit-faced inebriated with a bunch of people trying to forget about life for a while. Okay. I'm sure I could be a movie star if I could just get out of this place. And the waitresses practice in politics, and the businessmen slowly get stoned. And they're sharing a drink we call loneliness, but it sure is better than drinking alone. Yeah. Hey! It's my daughter's two-year birthday. Tap a keg. It's my daughter's quinceañera. Tap 2 kegs. It's my New Cinta Credit Union grandma's 90th birthday. 3 kegs! Orale! Nana pow pow! Hey, let's all drive a car home. Welcome to the Solomon Rushdie trained Machiavelli set of the Valley of the Rio Grande. Okay. How to get hit by a semi-truck. How to make millions of dollars to set your family for life getting hit by a semi-truck. They have books about it. Solomon Rushdie. Machiavellian. Solomon Rushdie things. Eric Hebb. The Bank of Hebb that gave me the best credit score of anybody in my unit when I got back home to Phoenix and was able to get Patrice and Punchy out of the projects. If it wasn't for that man helping me out as a friend, I'd have had a worse credit score than Patrice and Punchy put together. Yeah. When you take care of people and you're right and they can trust you, they take care of you. Parsons, you're a good friend. Montalvo, Hebb, in order to have good friends, you got to be a good friend, right? Eric's probably dead from chemical weapons exposure. I don't know about Miriam, if the smoking killed her or being married to a special forces guy. I don't know. I ain't heard for her from her. I don't know if she's alive or passed away, how Aaron's doing, how Brian's doing, how her daughters are doing. I don't know anything, man. Facebook was real nice to me. Yeah. Facebook kicked me off their site because I could go live at any time, and as soon as I got instantaneous feedback on you people in the military say I have no discipline, you'll kill people for money, and I have no discipline. And if he had that much unfettered access to the public where he could kick their ass so fast you couldn't even walk straight, all the techs in Silicon Valley got together and gave somebody the Big Fool of the Year award. They said, he can't be on this one, kick him off. YouTube said, we'll take him. Okay? But you guys should give us a way to where we can give him quicker access. Why? Because he's right and we're wrong. We should be living like him in the future, sooner than later. I hope it's not later. Well, he wins. I don't win. I'm right. You're wrong. I'm good. You're bad. I'm the way, the truth, and life. You're a liar. You're a liar. Thanks, Jeff. Jeff, man, you're tough. You really got thick skin, and I know it was really hard what you had to do working with all these bad actors that, wouldn't try to give us an opportunity to do anything right. Demis, thanks to your family for having faith eternally and the family of the prophets, apostles, and messiahs. Thank you. And Jeff Bezos, thanks for telling the ghost of Ronald Reagan that you can do better. Okay. I love you guys, man. All right, we'll talk later. All right, we'll probably, I don't know if we'll talk tomorrow. We'll see how fast military intel can load this, or if they're, afraid that the Chinese are going to kill them with their quantum computing. So, no, the quantum computing's not going to kill you. You're going to kill yourself with drones and robotics if you don't obey evident truth and keep trying to give us lie that's blatantly obvious and shaving little girls' heads because you won't stop causing her cancer, you little bastards. I love you. All right, peace out.